Hey guys, Alex again from Sydney 4K Foreshore with another Litchi experience video. Hope you guys are enjoying watching these. This video I just wanted to talk a little bit about settings and some things that I found over the last couple of shoots that I've done that have sort of thrown me around. So after watching a lot of YouTube videos about the best settings to use for the Mavic, and there's a lot of those, I settled on some saturation, contrast and exposure settings that I looked at from Tom's Tech Time, and the sharpness as well, which was basically hitting -2 on everything. And also the use of the D-Cine-like color filter. So I did a shoot, which you can see on my channel, the one I did at Waverley Cemetery and the Gap in Sydney. And I found, to tell you the truth, that the Cine-like settings sort of washed out the footage a little bit. And I know in Tom's tutorial, he said I could probably deal with that in post-production, but being no expert, just being a consumer just like you guys, I found that a little difficult. So I guess what I wanted to do this video to discuss was just the use of this color filter, which is called None. So again, just following on from what Tom said, is that the None color filter is actually a filter. It is actually doing stuff to make the footage look a particular type of way. And from when I got the Mavic in the first couple of days, I did find that the footage, I was so surprised just how the Mavic performed out of the box. I just thought that it looked amazing, even with no post-production or color correction, particularly the blues and greens. Everything just really seemed to pop. I had done nothing with the white balance. I think in the first couple of videos that I shot, there was one where it was a particularly nice day, and I just didn't really need to do anything to manipulate the footage. And so I'm going to shoot like that today, but I think that there's quite a lot to be said for all these settings, and there's just so many options in terms of what you're going to do when you shoot. So I'm just going to shoot this one in the None setting, and then I'm going to overlay this video later with the actual 4K footage. And I'll just stop recording there just to double check, because sometimes these settings in terms of what you shoot with does sort of change, especially if you're switching between DJI Go 4 and Litchi and back again, and it's easy to lose track of what you're actually shooting in and then come home and look at the footage and realize it was in the wrong resolution. So without a doubt, the resolution I'm using the most is just this 24 or just under 24 frames a second at 4K or 3840 by 2160. There is a slightly higher option, which is this 4096 by 2160, which gives you a tiny little letterbox sort of top and bottom, but it doesn't really fill the screen on a normal, well, 4K television like I have, because what I wanted was just to be able to fill the screen without too much fuss in the highest resolution possible. So I've been using that one. But the weird thing, I guess, to get used to is that with so much information about what settings to use, the default setting seems to be the best, in my opinion. So I'm just going to fly around for a bit now, and because this seems to be what everyone enjoyed from the previous videos. I've done a previous video with a panorama in terms of the different modes. I think we've established that the active track mode with Litchi is vastly inferior to DJI Go 4. I think the orbit mode's good, but the rest of it I think is much more stable, especially on Android. But you will, if you're an Android user, I would say that you are definitely going to be using the 2 if you've just got the Mavic. As soon as you experience that first crash with DJI Go 4, it just shatters your confidence with using the aircraft, basically, because if you weren't looking at the Mavic when your app crashed, and you're not quite sure exactly where it is, it's pretty heartbreaking, because you don't want to lose your drone and all of a sudden you don't exactly know where it is, or the return to home function might not work as you expect. So I'm just going to flick it into sports mode now. I've got 71% battery, so that's just heaps. And we'll just try and hit the lighthouse over at Grotto Point like I did the other day. Altitude's 55 meters. Sorry for the light, it's getting a little bit cloudy now. And this is what happened the other day when I did this first video, although it's so much easier to see the drone now that the sun's going down a bit. It's been an incredibly hot day here in Sydney. It's been about 35 degrees, but I can still see the drone. It's a little black dot in the distance, but only getting up to about 35 or 38 k's an hour now. Also seems to be drifting a little bit to the left, which I find a little weird, not that confidence inspiring. Also telling me that my remaining flight time is 6 minutes or less, so this is not going to be overly long. I am definitely drifting. I'm guessing that's going to be because of the wind. But as you can see, it doesn't really have, oh yeah, starting to get some little flickers with the signal. So it might be time to come home soon. I'm just going to fly straight back once we hit the kilometre mark. But this is basically as comfortable as you're going to get with where you're flying. So 56% battery, I'd say it's probably a pretty good idea to just shoot home. But again, I guess there's not a lot of wind where I am right now, but it's going a lot faster on the way back. So again, if there's anything in particular you want to see with the app, feel free to shout it out in the comments. Also feel free to like and subscribe. Oh wow, oh, what a shame. There's a cruise ship leaving right now on the other side. I'm at 54 meters. We'll just try and nail an ascent shot over the top with the cruise ship coming out. Totally not planned. I'm going to stay at about 100 meters because there are aircraft that do fly around here. Going straight over the top of my head right now. And some cloud is giving me a really clear view of the drone. Just fantastic fun. So I guess this is where you can start to make some mistakes, because at 70 kilometers an hour I can get away from myself pretty quickly in the other direction, but can I get home in time at 47% battery? So I think we've probably got time. Famous last words. Again, this is just sports mode. Super fun. Thanks P&O. I'll look up what cruise ship that was later. Even though I could do some more adventurous stuff, I'm not game at a kilometre away in the other direction, so I'm just going to come home. Sorry for the boring, or being boring. And pretty safe. 50 k's an hour on the way home is pretty fine. There's just so much to look at once you get up to that particular height. But again, aircraft potentially around. I might just bring the drone down. Also just really need to watch that height, because when you're taking off from some sort of headland or elevated position, the takeoff point is always going to say 0, but if you're on some cliff at 30 meters up, then the preset maximum height is going to be higher than maybe what your local area has regulated. But as you can see, The drone's just performing, but I'm up to about my 20th or 25th flight or something now, and I guess your confidence does grow and grow once you see what it's capable of, especially when you know that you've just got 1080p streaming footage coming back to your phone the whole time. Where is it? It's got to be pretty close, 70 meters. There he is. So that's pretty much, there we go. I've used 3 batteries in the last hour just doing these demo videos. If you want to see more, please like the video and feel free to subscribe. Really only doing these videos just to show what it's like using an Android phone, having to use Litchi, mucking around with the different flight modes, switching between DJI Go and Litchi, which is just a nightmare, to be honest, for a new user. So if you want to see more or you want to see anything specific, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.